I don't care if this goes here. It's not part of my metrics for my self-worth.
Why did a global superstar like Taylor Swift remind herself of that after her boyfriend was complimenting her athleticism? And what can we learn from it? Let's break down Taylor Swift's 5 powerful lessons on self-worth. Not just as a Swiftie if you are, but as people navigating criticism, pressure, and how we value ourselves. And I saved the best for last. First of all, this is not to idealize Taylor Swift. It's to understand the psychological clarity in how she frames self-worth, because she revealed insights that anyone can use to rethink how they define value and self-worth. My name is Manar. I'm a hypnotherapist and a coach. The first lesson, she says, anything you feed your brain, it will internalize. This is neuroscience, and she may not even know it, but there is a principle in neuroplasticity says neurons that fire together wire together. Now, what does that mean? In simple terms, the more you think or experience something, the more likely your brain will keep doing it, because it's creating efficient mental shortcuts or neural pathways. So if you're repeatedly exposed to criticism, even online, your brain strengthens those pathways, leading to more negative self-talk or hypervigilant or something like that, right? That's why if you grew up in a narcissistic household, you probably found yourself in narcissistic relationships as well. Simply your brain was wired for that. But the good news is you can change that. You can literally create new pathways. How? Exactly how they were initially created. You repeatedly expose yourself to balanced praise, and I underline balanced. You reinforce better, balanced, healthy beliefs. If you're consistently fed validation or encouragement, you will reinforce pathways of self-compassion, optimism, and resilience. Which is why hypnosis audios work, or sleep hypnosis work, because they put balanced, healthy beliefs in your mind even while you're asleep, because the subconscious is always recording. Whether you want it to or you don't, it is working. And I said balanced multiple times and healthy multiple times because this is one of the things that I do with my clients, because I really focus on not creating another narcissist out of my clients, just healthy people. Some of the fake narcissism gurus, and there are a lot out there, will give you all the extremely positive affirmations, not realizing that that's actually what a narcissistic person does. Positive affirmations aren't bad, but extremely positive affirmations such as you are good enough just because you are, that gives you a bit of entitlement, which, by the way, I know that I'm good enough is an affirmation that's going around the internet every day. Notice, for example, Meghan Markle says that a lot, and she truly believes that, which gives her entitlement that when a person complained about the soap and it gave that person some allergic reaction and all of that, she blamed it on the person and she didn't take accountability, because in her mind, I'm good enough. No matter what I do, I'm good enough. But a balanced, healthy affirmation wouldn't just focus on you're good enough. No, you're going to focus on the work that you do to be good enough. A lot of criminals think that they're good enough and they have excuses/reasons for the crimes that they did. You know what I mean? So you need a realistic therapist or hypnotherapist with you if you're looking for hypnosis audios or sleep hypnosis. Which, by the way, this is an invitation. If you would like to have a session with me one-on-one, as I'm not that famous yet, I don't have a representative, it's me. You're gonna be actually having a session with me. My channel is faceless, but of course in a session you will be seeing my face. But back to the point, what you repeat rewires your brain. What you feed your brain, you internalized. In other words, simpler, what you consume becomes what you believe. Okay, number 2, don't be the centerpiece of the table. I quote Taylor Swift, and she says, if your algorithm is giving you either criticisms of yourself or adulation or praise, you're creating an ecosystem in which you're the centerpiece of the table. And I don't think that's healthy. And you're damn right, that's not healthy. What does she mean by that? And how does it apply to your daily offline life? Let's say you're at work and your manager gives you quick feedback on a task and they say, hey, just double check the formatting next time. Now, if you're already in a mindset of, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, your brain doesn't hear that feedback as a neutral note. It hears, I messed up, I'm not gonna do anything right. Because it's coming from that place of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Later that day, say a coworker forgets to say hi to you. You interpret that as a confirmation. Ugh, they probably think that I'm a loser too. They probably think I'm incompetent, That is something that's called cognitive bias reinforcement. Your brain starts scanning the environment, not objectively, but to prove its internal story. That's just what the brain does, Our brain tends to seek or notice or believe things that confirm what it actually believes. This means if you're feeding your brain negative content, it'll start looking for more, and the algorithm isn't helping very much with that. Or it's actually helping by giving you negative content, It's giving you what you actually feed your brain, And your brain interprets that or interprets the world through that lens. So make sure that you feed your brain objectively and realistically. Number 3, your energy is expensive. She says you should think of your energy as if it's expensive. What you spend your energy on, that's the day. And I just loved how she said that, because we often think of burnout as a workplace thing, but we don't really think of emotional burnout. It's what happens when we spend energy on people or things or comments that haven't earned it. But if you think my energy is expensive, that's a boundary setting. You can also call it emotional budgeting, which is a concept that means exactly how it sounds. You might think of money budgeting, right? 10% for savings, 60% for necessities, whatever, right? But we do this, or we can do the same thing with our emotions and energy. Where is 60% of your energy going to? Is it going towards your family, work, Instagram? You decide that. Number 4, not everything is your business. She says, my name can be in the headline and it can still be none of my business. Now that's just awesome, because it's not denial, it's detachment. It's a sentence with a lot of liberation in it. You don't have to chase every narrative or correct every comment or prove your worth by defending it constantly. And this can be something also in your daily life, say in your job. You agree with a colleague about a certain task. The colleague thinks it should be done in a different way and you agree with that. The colleague says that you do agree with them. That's actually not about you or your values or why you think this way. It's just the colleague wants to prove their point. You're not the main character there. It's like when Ross from Friends got the gas when the other friends were stranded in some area, and Rachel made the comment like, oh, were you speaking with me or sleeping with someone else? And he was like, Monica agrees with me. Now, this is not about Monica. He just wants to prove that he's right. It's not about Monica at all. So when you think that way, my name can be in the headline, but it is still none of my business. You're not the main character there. When you step out of the movie, when you're not the lead, and just be totally fine with it, that's also emotional budgeting. Now, to my favorite point, number 5. She says, I'm not an athlete and I don't care. It's not part of my metrics for my self-worth. I just started snapping my fingers and, rocking back and forth and like cheering for her and like, yes, girl, I love that for you. And I love that for anyone who has this mindset for many reasons. Look, how often do we feel that we should be good at everything? Or how often do we feel that we should be good at something because someone we love wants us to be good at it? So they talked about her Eras tour and how she did cardio, endurance, physical therapy, and all of that stuff because she wanted to give her fans the best show and all of that. She says, it doesn't come naturally to me because I'm not an athlete. Her boyfriend disagrees. And he says that she is an athlete. And I see his point. He's talking about her dedication, discipline, and how she takes constructive criticism. That is a mindset of an athlete, But she's like, yeah, you can see it this way, but like, I don't care, First of all, she's not defining her worth by how her boyfriend thinks. The second, it's not, I suck at this, so I suck. No, it's, this is just not my lane, and I'm cool with that. For her, being bad at sports doesn't mean she's less worthy in any way. Obviously, she's a huge deal now, but she is that because she focused on one lane. She didn't distract herself by looking at other lanes and trying to be good here, trying to excel there. She couldn't care less. Music has always been her lane. She defines her self-worth by the hard work she puts in her craft. That mindset actually allowed her to learn baking, for example. As she said in the podcast, that might sound counterintuitive, but listen to this. When you know that you know nothing about a topic and you're okay with it, you're secure enough to be curious, to listen, to learn about it, to be open for feedback, which allows improvement. She also talked about how when she's on someone's team, then she cares and tries hard because now it's about someone else. She's not the main character anymore, right? She is stepping out of it when she's not the lead anymore and she's being fine with it. And that's empathy. A narcissist will obsess about winning because they want to be the winner. Everything's about them. But for Taylor, she's just showing up for someone else. She doesn't need to be the MVP. So ask yourself this. Where am I leaking energy? What stories am I trying to control that are not even mine? What's shaping the way I think about myself? And think of your self-worth as a boundary, not as a scoreboard. If this resonated with you, drop your thoughts in the comments or share this with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.